My name is Alina. Today we are going to talk about the organs of speech and their functions. By the end of this video, you will be able to name the organs of speech and define their functions in pronunciation. The organs of speech in which take part in the production of speech sounds are called speech organs. When we speak, air comes out through the lungs and it's interfered at various places for the production of sounds. Sounds cannot occur without air. Famous philologist David Crystal divided the articulators in two different ways according to its mobility. They are active articulators and passive articulators. The active articulator does all or most of the movement when a speech is made. It's usually the lower lip, a part of the tongue, because the tongue is a lower jaw of removing. The passive articulator does little or no movement. It is a part of the place of articulation where the active articulator presses against, usually the upper jaw, upper teeth, roof of the mouth, or pharynx. Now I would like to concentrate on each speech organs now. Lungs. Most human sounds are produced with pulmonary air stream. For example, lungs pushing the air outwards. During speech, the lungs take in air rapidly and let it go slowly. Nasal cavity. The nasal cavity is a large air-filled space above the behind the nose in the middle of the face. The main function of the nasal cavity is to act as main passageway for the airflow entering the lungs. The nasal cavity also filters the incoming air, regulates temperature, and humidifies the nasal passage to aid the filtering function. The larynx. In the upper part of the trachea is muscular structure which is called the larynx. It's responsible for producing voice, helping us swallow and breathe. The pharynx. The pharynx is a tube which begins just above the larynx. It's about 7 cm long in women and 8 cm in men. And its top end is divided into two, one part being the back of the mouth and the other being the beginning of the way through the nasal cavity. The tongue is an important organ of speech. It's divided into 4 parts: the tip, the blade, the front, and the back. The number of vowels is produced with the help of the tongue. The tip of the tongue helps to produce t, d, z. The blade of the tongue helps to produce ch, d, sh. The front of the tongue helps to produce palatal sound y. And the back of the tongue helps to produce k, g sounds. The uvula. The uvula is a small finger-shaped piece of tissue that hangs down from the soft palate in the back of the throat. The uvula functions together with palate, the back of the throat, and the air from the lungs to create a variety of sounds used for speech. The lower lip. The lower lip can be moved to produce different sounds. It can make contact with the upper lip to produce sound. The upper lip. In speech production, it's the lower lip that reaches up to make contact with it and create different sound. The upper lip and lower lip help produce bilabial sounds. P, b, m. If the lips are held together, they produce different vowels. Oral cavity. The first section of the mouth is known as the oral cavity or the mouth cavity. This entire structure is also called the mouth. The structures within the mouth allows us to manipulate the air that comes up from the voice box so that we can form the words. The teeth. The teeth take part in the production of the consonant sounds. The upper teeth only take part in the production of speech sounds. The sound produced with help of the upper teeth are called dental sound. Alveolar ridge. The alveolar ridge is the part between the upper teeth and the hard palate. The sound produced with the tongue touching the alveolar ridge is called alveolar sounds. For example, s, t, d. Hard palate. The hard palate is a thin, horizontal, bony plate of skull located in the roof of the mouth. It's important for speech. The interaction between the tongue and the hard palate is essential in the formation of certain speech sounds, notably t, d, l. Soft palate. The last part of the soft palate is called uvula. When it's lowered, the nasal sounds are produced. When it rises, the air passes out through the oral cavity and oral sounds like p, t, k, s are produced. And now you are able to name these organs of speech and define the functions in pronunciation. Please remember them. Thank you for watching.